Hello and welcome to Castle's Corner. I am Coach Castle, and today I'm going to be doing a biomechanical breakdown of Blood and Guts with Dorian Yates. Now, Dorian Yates is a personal hero of mine. I actually used to train Dorian Yates style about a decade ago. I was a big fan of it. At the time, I didn't truly understand it, although I applied it, I would say, actually pretty well. I didn't realize the actual amount of drugs and other things that would be necessary to sustain that kind of training. And of course, like most young gym goers, I thought I could attain this kind of physique with these movements. Now, of course, a lot of the movements that Dorian does are not, the most effective or what have you, but they're still, interestingly enough, very good movements, and most of the movements that he does, at least in Blood and Guts, are very close to being highly efficient movements. So I'm going to do a breakdown as to what I'm talking about, because normally I just debunk and discredit bodybuilders, their very useless and stupid exercise selection. But Dorian actually, in his training videos, when I'm looking at them, most of the exercises he selected were highly efficient for the muscle groups he was training. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over Blood and Guts, chest, and biceps, and I'll do probably a 3 or 4 part series of this, breaking down each one. And just let me know what you guys think. But for right now, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so the first exercise you can see Dorian doing here is a heavy incline bench press. But one of the first things that you should notice is that he has his back arched considerably. So he's not actually doing an incline bench press, he is doing a almost flat bench press. Now, with even that being said, he's still only targeting kind of the upper pectoral fibers. He's not getting a full chest workout with the incline bench press. Of course, he's primarily targeting his front deltoids. Those are the primary movers of this movement you're seeing here, is his front deltoids, as well as his chest, to a degree his triceps. But that's what he's actually targeting here in this particular exercise. Using a barbell creates bilateral deficit or a slight weakness and imbalance on both sides. It's much better to use dumbbells. Incline bench press is not an effective movement for growing your chest, which is why Dorian is arcing his back here, so as to actually make it more of a flat bench press, which will stimulate your chest, and he'll kind of forced to use it because of the amount of weight he's using. All right, so this next one that you see him doing is a machine-assisted decline chest press. Notice what I said, decline. So he's actually doing a very efficient movement because the machine is set up in such a way that it's actually unilateral. It's almost like using dumbbells, and the resistance provided by the actual way that the lever is loading the weight onto him. It's a fully decline movement. It's unilateral. It's almost identical to doing decline dumbbells. Highly efficient movement, perfect for targeting the chest. All right, here you can see Dorian doing an incline fly. Notice how much he had to substantially reduce the weight now that he's using dumbbells, and he's keeping his forearm mostly parallel with gravity, making it a neutral lever, but also heavily loading at the very end or the tip of his upper arm lever, maximally using it. Now, in this particular exercise, he's actually using his biceps a bit to stabilize that dumbbell, as well as to actually make the contraction for this movement, although it's not a good bicep exercise. He is using his biceps for that. He is primarily targeting, once again, his front deltoid, and his chest is receiving a little bit of work, but not much. Okay, so next you can see here him doing a standard unilateral bicep curl with dumbbells, incorporating a twist. This is a flawless and a perfect bicep movement to fully contract the bicep. The only downside is he's letting his ego get in the way. As you can see, he's clearly using momentum with his hips and his entire back to force the weight up, but he is controlling it slowly on the eccentric, which is the more important movement for the kind of training that he's doing. So all in all, basically a perfect exercise minus that momentum he's doing. Now here is another bicep exercise, again doubling up on exercises without reason, but essentially he's doing one set maximum intensity with each one of these exercises. So if you want to get technical, I suppose he could be going to 3 sets for each muscle group, not really efficiently, but using a variety of exercises. Once again, he's got the barbell bilateral deficit, using an awful lot of momentum, but he is focusing heavily on the eccentric here. Good exercise except for the barbell and the momentum. All right, so here we have another bicep exercise, machine-assisted bicep curl. However, something is happening here which is not good, even though it is a unilateral exercise, and that is, of course, active insufficiency. He's beginning with a pre-contracted bicep, which means he cannot generate enough force as he typically would with, say, a dumbbell inside the right resistance curve. And he's not able to actually lift as much weight as he could be if the muscle was not pre-contracted. So not the best exercise, but again, it's a different version of the exercise. A lot of people do these kinds of movements, like with cables up here, or they'll do cables this way, or the same thing you see Dorian doing here. And it's just because it feels different. Feeling different doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it's good. It's something called active insufficiency, and it's actually bad. But anyway, so this is Dorian's training. This is what it looks like for his chest and for his biceps. The next one I'll break down. I'm not sure yet, but I'll let you guys know. What did you think about this video? If you have any questions about anything I said in this video, I have hundreds of videos called Ego Lifting versus Biomechanics with the red pills of resistance exercise, or really any of my playlists where I go through, discredit, and debunk all of these old notions in the fitness industry. Now, Dorian Yates' training is, of course, effective because it yielded this monster, but also remember the massive amounts of drugs he was taking, the fact that he did nothing but literally his entire life do exactly this, and he had very good genetics. Let's not forget the massive amount of damage his body took and the fact that he completely destroyed his body multiple times over. He did a lot of extremely unnecessary things just because he didn't know better. But his intensity was always through the roof, and interestingly enough, a lot of his exercises he selected were highly efficient exercises. So that's why I wanted to do this biomechanical breakdown of Dorian Yates' training, and maybe I'll do other bodybuilders, but as far as I can tell, his training was almost spot on, except for a few little things that I'm mentioning here. Hope that you liked that video. I just wanted to remind you all, if you're able to and you support my work, please make sure that you like the video, you subscribe if you haven't already, you click the notification bell, and you share this video or leave a comment to help the algorithm. Every little bit helps, and I'm trying to get this information to as many people as is possible. And of course, if I can help you with any of your coaching needs, you need a running plan, you need a workout plan, you want to build mass, you want to lose weight, you want to do things correctly, you want a full education about your diet, your exercise, your respiratory health, supplements, and everything else, just contact me at castleinprogress.com or via my email, castleinprogress@gmail.com. If you don't want coaching directly, just check out my Etsy store. It's linked in the description of all of my videos. I have all of my many books, tools, and everything else there. Or finally, check out my Substack. It's linked in a lot of the videos as well. And it's free, a free newsletter where I share the latest science, advice, exercises, and everything else for free. So thank you as always for your support, everyone.